Good day everyone. Today we discuss about diagnostic tools. Diagnostic tools developed were the SWOT analysis in 1960s, problem tree analysis and fishbone diagram in 1968, and uh, Tichanova in 2014. So diagnostic tools is organizational development are like check-ups for business. They help to identify problems, understand their causes, and guide solution. So imagine a company with a low employee morale and poor performance. Diagnostic tools like the day survey. So the interview and data analysis can reveal the root causes, such as unclear communication or unrealistic workloads. This information they help the company develop target and intervention to improve things. So SWOT analysis stand for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool used to assess an organization. So ang strength kay it's a internal factor that give the organization an advance or on competitors. So example, a strong brand, reputation, skilled workforce, then innovative product and efficient operations. And then ang weakness is internal factors that hinder organization performance. Example ani limited resources, outdated technology, and poor customer service and weak leadership. Dayan ang opportunities is internal factors that organization can leverage to its advantage. So example ani is emerging market, new technologies, changing consumer preference, government regulation. Dayon ang threat kay this is external factors that pose a risk to the organization success. Example ani kay competition, economic downturn, then changing regulation, technological disruption. So these are then used for strategic planning or brainstorming purpose. So kaning diagnostic tools is use ni siya para to identify the problem of your organization.
The fishbone diagram uses the image of fishbone, the categories of sources of common organizational problems. Walto 1986. These problem sources are methods, machine and equipment, manpower, materials, and measurement. In recent years, environment has been added another problem. The fishbone diagram helps you understand why a problem exists in our organization. Think of it like a fish skeleton. The main bone is the problem, and the smaller bone branching out are all the possible causes. It's a visual way to brainstorm and organize ideas, making it easier to find the root causes of a problem and development solution. And the diagnostic models in the 1970s, Westboard 1976, and Peters and Waterman 1978 conceptualized the six-box model, and the McKinsey's 70s model, respectively, Cumming and Worley 2009. The conceptualize is it means to form a clear idea and plan in your mind.
The six-box models illustrates how six important aspects of the organization's purpose, structures, rewards, helpful, mechanisms and relationships are connected to each other. Wisborne posited that for an organization to be effective, uh, the six-box models developed by Marvin Wisborne is a framework used to analyze the effectiveness of an organization's internal workings and how it is, is executes its strategy. It's an valuable tool for identifying potential problems and areas for improvement within a company. The McKinsey model. Similar to the six-box in Wisborne's model, these 7 elements must be aligned and should mutually reinforce each other to improve organizational performance. However, in contrast to the six-box models, which consider the leader as a central element, the McKinsey Sevens framework, also known as the McKinsey Sevens model, is a management tool used to analyze and improve the effectiveness of an organization. It was developed by Robert Waterman and Tom Peters in the 1970s, while they were consultants at McKinsey Company.
The Nadler-Tushman congruence model in 1997 identifies 4 critical factors that drive an organization's performance. The Nadler-Tushman congruence model is a valuable tool for understanding and improving organization performance. It based on the idea that an organization effectiveness hinges on how well its various parts fit together. First is task. This refers to the actual work that needs to be done. It includes the nature of the jobs, the skills required, and how the work is structured and organized. People. This encompasses the individuals who make up the organization. It considers their skills, knowledge, abilities, motivation, values, and demographics. Formal organization. This is the structured official part of the organization. Next is informal organization. This is the unwritten rules of the organization. It represents the shared values, beliefs, norms, and assumptions that influence how people behave and interact. In short, the Nadler-Tushman congruence model provides a framework for understanding organization as interconnected systems. It highlights the importance of aligning the internal elements, thus people for formal organization with informal organization, with each other and the external environment and the organization history. By focusing the congruence, organization can improve their performance and effectiveness.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Ang topic for today is David Hanna's Organization System Model 1988. Likewise, suggests and harmonizing and listening of operational virus and critical to organizational performance. David Hanna Organization Systems Model 1988 is the framework on understanding how an organization's various elements work together to achieve its goal. The rationale of stakeholder needs, demand, and expectation of shareholders, employers, customer, community, and employees, strategies and capabilities, purpose, principle, and organizational competencies organizational system, structure, people, rewards, and process, culture, norms, and practices, result, what are organizational is humble to its stockholder, and the underlying belief and values of the people within the organization, the RBL Group and HANA 2013. Its model also now is a organizational system model emphasize an interconnectedness of different aspects of the organization, including its social, technical, economic, and open system. Six, six components on HANA model. Number 1, stockholder needs. Number 2, results. Number 3, culture. Number 4, underlying values and belief. Number 5, strategies and capabilities. Number 6, organizational systems. Number 1, stockholder needs. These are the expectations of organizations' key stockholders, including shareholders, consumers, suppliers, employees, and the community. Number 2, result. These are the actual outcomes delivered by the organization, which may or may not meet stockholders' needs. Number 3, culture. This reserve the work habits and norms and define how the organizational operates. Number 4, underlying values, beliefs. These are the option in visual elements and infuse how the other components and view and design. Number 5, strategy capabilities. The strategy sets and direction of the organization, while capacities are the intangible resources needed for fulfill and the strategy. Number 6, organization system. There are the tools use the employment and strategy and deliver capabilities, including process, culture, rewards, and people. For example, a sales organization. A sales organization may refine its incentive structures to reward not just sales numbers but also customer satisfaction and teamwork. This can improve overall service quality and teamwork. The framework emphasizes as well as the need to look the both the internal environment represented by the stockholder needs and the internal systems and process of the organization. HANA model emphasizes the importance of a holistic approach to organizational design. It suggests and change on the component of the organization will likely affect other components. By understanding the interconnectedness and of elements, managers can make more informed decisions about how improve organization performance. Thank you.
Burke and Litwin Coastal Model in 1992. So Burke and Litwin identified 12 organizational variables identified as drivers of transformational and transactional changes. So For transformational change consists of four levers, which is the external environment, mission and strategy, and leadership and culture. So, external environment encompasses all factors outside an organization that can influence its operations, performance, and success. And while mission and strategy, it is a fundamental purpose and reason for existence, and it defines what the organization aims to achieve and how it intends to make a difference. Leadership. So, for effective leadership is essential for a successful organization development. So, in leadership, it set the vision, champion change, and create a supportive environment that enables OD initiatives to thrive. While in culture, it shared values, beliefs, and assumptions and behaviors that shape how people in organization think, act, and interact. So in transactional change, it focuses on organization organizational fine tuning, includes the seven levels, which is the structure, management practices, systems, work group, work group climate, task requirements, individual needs and values, and motivation. So structure, so it organizational structure refers to the organization's activities are organized, coordinated, and managed to achieve its goals. While management practices refers to the specific approaches, techniques, and tools used by managers to facilitate and support organizational development initiatives. While system, it refers to the interconnected parts of an organization that work together to achieve its goals. So it's about viewing the organization as a whole rather than a collection of individual parts. While work group climate, it refers to the shared perceptions and feelings that members of a team have about their work environment. So it encompasses the overall atmosphere, dynamics, and interactions within the group. Task requirements. It refers to the specific skills, knowledge, and resources and condition needed to successfully complete a task or achieve a desired outcome within an organizational context. While individual needs, so it refers to the individual needs and values are the unique preference, motivation, and aspirations that drive each person's behavior. So, so they shape the personal experiences, beliefs, and cultural influences. And motivation refers to the forces that drive individuals to exert effort, achieve goals, and contribute to the success of the organization. The stream analysis also emphasizes looking at the interconnections among four classes, which are the organizing arrangement, social factors, technology, and physical setting. So, organizing arrangement composed of culture, management style, interaction, and process, while the social factors includes cultural, management style, structure, and policies, while technology, tools, equipment, job design, and technical system, and the last, physical setting,
which includes space, configuration, and physical ambience, and interior design.
The subtopic is the Freedom Swamp Model Socio-Technical System. Stakeholders environment is the model stress strategic decision should be made in isolation and external factors, regulations, market trends, competitors, actions, and external stakeholders is action of an internal employees, customers, investors, all significantly are influenced about the environmental stakeholders. And the production. Production is the organization core activities production process are supported various and importance of the producting what they need to do. Effective. The problem is in any of these supporting areas can negatively impact for the process. Let's just say example imagine the software of company developing a new mobile app, so it includes that the mobile app it can satisfy the customers and to their needs and what they are supporting service, the production and outputs that and also the feedback that they are needs to the customers. Example, we'll need to navigate complex interplay of this in this topic is the elements ensuring that the app meets the customer needs, complies with the regulations, and generate returns of investors. So constant feedback and adaptation would be crucial of success. And illustrate the holistic and interconnected nature, emphasize the freedom swamp model. And the production is the process including services that support and works process, clients, customers, and investors. So dapat naaasapanan and then we are going to do is to achieve the environmental stakeholders, and while the leadership is simulation that we are need to going to satisfy their customers and the other that we are selling. And the important and constant feedback is also that it emphasizes the Nolan 2006.
The comprehensive model for diagnosing by Cumming and Worley. The comprehensive model of diagnosing by Cumming and Worley is a framework for understanding and improving organizational effectiveness. It emphasizes a system-wide perspective and uses holistic approach to identify and address organizational challenges. There are 6 key components of the model for diagnosing by Cumming and Worley. Number 1, entering and contracting. This involves establishing a clear understanding of the organization's needs and goals and creating collaborative relationship between the organization and the change agent. Number 2, diagnosing. This step involves identifying the root causes of organizational problems using various data collection methods such as surveys, interviews, and observation. Number 3, collecting, analyzing, and feeding back diagnostic information. This involves gathering, analyzing, and presenting data, understandable and actionable. Number 4, designing interventions. This involves developing and selecting appropriate interventions based on the diagnosed problems, such as team building, training, or structural changes. Number 5, managing change. This involves implementing the interventions and managing the transition process, ensuring that the changes are sustainable and integrated into the organization's culture. Number 6, evaluating and institutionalizing interventions. This involves assessing the effectiveness of the interventions and ensuring that the
changes are embedded in the organization's practices and systems. Like for example, if a company is struggling with low employee morale, and high turnover, using the comprehensive model, a change agent might enter and contract, diagnose, collect, analyze and feedback, design interventions, manage change, evaluate, and institutionalize. By following this comprehensive model, organizations can effectively diagnose and address their challenges, leading to improved performance and sustainability. This model's distinguishing factor is its representation of the three levels of diagnosis: organizations, group, and individuals. The comprehensive model for diagnosing becoming unworthy is unique in its focus on three levels of analysis within organizational development. First is organizational level. This examines the overall structure, system, and processes of the organization. Second, group level. This focuses on the dynamics and instructions within teams or departments. Third, individual level. This examines needs, skills, and motivations of individual employees. For each level, the model shows that one is the inputs that the system has to work with. These inputs can be categorized into three categories. First is data, quantitative data. This includes measurable information like performance metrics, financial data, employee turnover rates, and service results. Qualitative data. This involves observation, interviews, focus groups, understand the underlying causes of issues, employee perception, and the organization's culture. Number 2, stakeholder. Leadership, employees, external experts. Number 3, contextual factors. Industry landscape, economic conditions, legal and regulatory environment. By analyzing these inputs, the comprehensive model enables OD practitioners to develop a comprehensive understanding of the organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Number 2, the key design components of the transformation subsystem and resources. By designing these components, organization can create a transformation subsystem that is effective, efficient, and sustainable, leading to the positive and lasting change. Number 3, the system's output coming in early 2009. The outputs of the organizational development system as described by Coming on Worley 2009 are the desired changes and improvements that result from the transformation process. These outputs can be categorized into three levels. Number 1 is individual level. Increase skills and knowledge. Employees gain new skills and knowledge through training, development programs and mentoring. Improve performance. Individuals become more effective and efficient in their roles, leading to higher productivity and quality of work. Group level. Improve teamwork and collaboration. Teams become more cohesive, collaborative, and effective in achieving shared goals. Increase innovation and creativity. Teams become more innovative and creative in problem solving and developing new ideas. Organizational level. Increase effectiveness and efficiency. The organization becomes more effective and efficient in achieving its goals, leading to improved performance and profitability. Enhance adaptability and flexibility. The organizations become more adaptable and flexible in responding to change in the environment. Improve culture and climate. The organization develops a more positive and supportive culture that foster employee engagement, innovation, and growth. This effectiveness of the OD system is measured by the extent to which these desired outputs are achieved. Thank you.